day, Uno.
Yo, what's up? Penta
What's good, brother?
FC. Kanjile, what's good? No jokes
Bruh,
today.
yo. Hey, man, yo. The only joke today is Man City, bruh. That's the only joke today.
Wow.
Man,
Okay. Before we unpack the match, tell me,
mm,
dog. Tell me, did you think this was going to happen?
nope, not in a million years. No, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we got away with it a little bit against Liverpool, but this was a whole different, this is a whole other game, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
mm, I heard the commentator say, like just now as the match was closing out, he was like, a lot of people say Liverpool didn't turn up in that match, but from his personal perspective, Liverpool had a good match, and I think so too. I think they were genuinely trying to win. It's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
we did it again.
No, man, we need to put more respect on these Arsenal players, man.
No,
Like
for
these
real, for real,
defenders,
for
like
real.
the past couple of days, they've been showing up, yo.
No,
So yeah, yeah.
for real, and
Mm.
the tactics have been on point.
They have been. They have
You
been. The
know,
subs, I think, have been on point as well.
yeah.
So yeah, he's getting something out of these players, man. Like what he's getting out
No.
of Mustafi and all these
Mm,
guys. Like, and these
mm.
are the players that we didn't want at Arsenal. You know what I mean? So these are the guys who are like, no, they can, they can F off, they can
What
go
about
elsewhere.
Granit Xhaka?
Granit Jack, the biggest turnaround, man. From
Yeah.
that one game where we were like, he can go back. I think he was linked with the move away anyway. You're like, yeah,
Mm,
he can
mm,
move from
mm.
the club. And now, like, I look at him now, I'm like, yo, this guy can be a captain. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man,
So huge
exactly.
turnaround. Mm,
Exactly,
big
man.
turnaround. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So, man, yeah, yeah. Like, when you actually don't even know what to say.
You're
Like,
still you're
yeah,
still in you're
no,
still in disbelief.
it's still a shock, man. Like, like was Jesus even playing? Or the things that Luis is gonna find when he empties out his pockets after this game. Jesus is gonna be
What,
there.
No, man,
what, 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 what about Riyad Mahrez? AC Maitland now there. He's
it
going to
is
empty him out. He's going to empty out Phil Foden,
exactly.
Kyle Walker. Hey, man.
No.
Gents, what was it, man? I gave us no chance in winning that game. I felt stronger as the day went on, but like honestly, after that Liverpool match, I was like, nah, we're gonna get tongued here.
Why?
Right.
You didn't think we'd have?
And then today when people were talking, I was like, I'm feeling confident, but I was like, I thought we would play better. I didn't think we'd win in this manner. Where in the end of the day, I think we were quite comfortable, like in terms of, yes, okay, we did have a few shaky moments when we were trying passing the ball out to the back and everything. But I think that defensively we had a plan. We need to shuffle them out wide, let them cross us. We'll win all the crosses and we'll break.
I mean,
we knew that we can't go toe to toe with these guys. We all understand that. So let's just play on the break, and it was poetry in motion.
Let's talk about what you just mentioned now about playing out from the back and how nerve-wracking it was. But like, I mean, especially the build up to the second goal. Like I saw the heat map of passes. And a lot of them were in our penalty area, and then all of a sudden it's out, and then boom, goal. But like, just it was nervy, and like I think it's been a long time since we've had like the confidence that we can play out and even have such an outcome like that,
Uno.
Hey, what's up? How are you, Fluffy?
Guys, can I confess? I have a young confession to make.
Go ahead.
I didn't watch the game. I thought the game was going to be played tomorrow. My brother calls me, and it's like 85 minutes left in the game. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You haven't been checking the group.
This is what I'm going to say, man. This is what I'm going to say. Arteta beat Pep, and he beat Pep and Klopp in 1 week.
In 1 week.
In 1 week, he beat
If it wasn't for Kolasinac, it would have been Mourinho as well. We would have had the 3 years.
Yeah, that would have been
the top coaches in
man. But anyway, look, I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna keep my ass. I'm gonna be quiet. You guys talk about it because I didn't see.
Now, but you must feel free to chime in. So you know what's going to be difficult right now. Two things that are going to be difficult for us to discuss. I think, like, one, who had a bad match, and two, who had a great match. You know, and I think it's going to be hard to talk about who had a bad match and a great match because it's hard to point out who nobody. It's like it's almost like no player put a foot wrong today. And if they did, they compensated soon enough, you know.
For me, picking on somebody who had actually a bad game today. Yes, we as a unit we played well, but I still think that Bellerin still is not quite up to where he was before his injury. Yeah. I think he was the weakest link for me in the whole game. He did have some moments, but generally I think his play is still lacking. He just hasn't been the same player. I don't know what's going on with him. He's not as quick. I don't know. I think he's playing with a little bit of fear or something, but he's not the same Bellerin as before, man. And I just hope that he actually recovers all of that.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, if I had to single someone out, and not purely because he played poorly or anything, but just because he didn't give us that release valve, was Pepe in terms of just he was getting caught a lot of times offside. He was making some of the runs too early and sometimes when he actually should have made the runs, he wasn't making them at all.
And he wasn't getting past his man.
And then we ended up poofing balls into channels where we expected him to be. But I mean, at the end of the day, he was instrumental in both goals where he did the right thing. The first one, he got the ball, cut inside, put in a beautiful delivery. And in the second goal, he ran into a channel, held up the ball, played it back to Tierney. Tierney played a beautiful clip ball and played Aubameyang through. And I mean, the rest was history through the keeper's legs for a wonderful finish. So I just want to see a lot more from him. And those two moments of brilliance that he produced, I want to see that consistently throughout the match. But yeah, I mean, to pick and say someone for me had a poor game, it'll be very tough. Especially because the guys I think just played so well and executed the manager's tactics. They executed the manager's tactics very, very well today.
So what about best performance? I mean, I think that's also equally hard.
But who do you pick? Because I mean, Tierney for me had a stormer again at left centre back. Ainsley Maitland-Niles had a stormer. Xhaka looked solid. You know, Aubameyang obviously scored those 2 goals. Lacazette was working hard, holding up play when we could. You know, sometimes obviously it was just a final pass that was missing from us. Luis and Mustafi surprisingly had stellar games. Whenever even one made a slip up, the one was there to
cover up,
track back and cover, to cover up and put in a good block. So
Lacazette all over, working hard for the team.
Martinez made some key saves as well when the time came. So I can't pick on anyone.
Lacazette is an absolute bull, man. That guy fights for everything. He is strong. He's physical. You know, he's got some skill to him as well.
Exactly.
He's a nicer version of Diego Costa, I feel. You know?
The more polite version.
Of Diego Costa.
You know, I wasn't going to say anything, right? But please don't compare him to, not Diego Costa. You can compare him to anyone, but not Costa. Please.
But that's what, I mean, I think he played well, though. I think he had a good game. Luis, I had to rub my eyes and just make sure that he didn't sign Puyol today, just for today's game, because he was solid at the back. The back three looked very good. And you know, I think we need to actually start putting some respect on Maitland-Niles' name, man, because I think he's got a good football brain, and that's why it's so easy to put him in different positions. And he can I think he perhaps deserves a more of a chance in midfield than a Willock does, you know. But because of his versatility, maybe it's difficult to actually play where you want to play.
I mean, imagine we didn't even play Saka today, and that's our best player of the season, in my opinion. You know,
exactly,
you know, and I think it's another great thing that we've got so many versatile players. You know, that in terms of like, you know, Willock, Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson. You know, like just to fill in the gaps occasionally where we lack. And today today it was a masterstroke. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing AMN play on the left side. You know.
No, he did. He played the. He played the recently, man. I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Wolves or no?
Yes, it was Wolves. It was Wolves. When he
Okay.
Yeah,
literally
against
marked
Wolves.
what's this guy, that beast that they've got of a player?
Yeah.
I'm forgetting his name. Yeah, he marked him out of the game.
So he
No,
came on
against
the.
Wolves, I think against Wolves he came on for Tierney, if I'm not
Came
wrong.
on.
Yeah,
He came
yeah,
on.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came on
He came
the.
in for
Yeah,
Tierney
he
for the
came
second
on.
half.
There's a,
yeah.
there's a. Man, there's a, yeah, okay, it was second half actually. I thought there was another game which he might have started there, but
Yeah.
he has played there
You know,
before for us.
because
But he was solid.
yeah.
He had Mahrez on toast.
I even heard the commentator mention that, you know, I mean, I picked it up that, you know, from the comment that, you know, AMN is actually apparently really good at one-on-ones, you know, and I saw it today as well, that, you know, it was very hard to get past him, you know, with you know, how he stretches his legs to get across. You know, it's quite, I mean, wow, we're in the final, FA Cup final. There's something potential to boast about. You know, from such a scrappy season. I mean, I was speaking to Kish earlier. Like, I mean, when last do you remember Arsenal having 3 coaches in one season? But you know, here we find ourselves at in a final of a tournament that we have great history in. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wembley is turning into hybrid, man. That's what's happening. Wembley is the new hybrid.
The new hybrid.
So I mean, who do you guys fancy in the final, United or Chelsea?
Hey, it's a tough one, because I think United are playing some stellar stuff.
I
just hope that obviously, because we saw Mustafi picked up a hamstring injury, so he's probably out for the rest of the season now. I just hope we don't pick up anything else, like we don't pick up an injury to a Rob Holding or a David Luiz or a suspension. So, you know, then obviously, because that will leave us quite a bit short, and we might not necessarily be able to play our back three. So out of the two, I'll take Chelsea, because Chelsea are also shaky at the back, so they would like to go toe to toe with us, and then we could expose them.
Yeah.
Whereas United, I'm quite fearful of their attack at the moment. They're looking very potent and hungry. But I mean, if we can put on a performance like this against anyone in the cup final, I think we'll fancy ourselves to win, because I think also in the final, I think we'd also probably be looking to play on the counter attack. Hopefully we'll be a bit more clinical or more incisive rather in our passing, because it was just in the build-up play where our passes sometimes went astray when we were in good positions. But in terms of actually in goal, we were actually quite clinical. Taking our chances. I think we got all our shots pretty much on top. The 4 shots we had, we got on target, and we did get into good positions where the guys also intercepted or put in a block, or block the pass, or put in a tackle. So yeah, I think just bring on anyone. It's a final. I mean, you actually it's a final. So I'll fancy myself against anyone, but yeah, I'd rather take Chelsea, because I think it'll be easy. Anything can happen in a final.
Chelsea will be the easier game of the two. Like, let's be honest, I mean, the way that the front three of Man United are playing right now, with Bruno behind them, and you've got Pogba there as well, they're going to be a lot harder to I think Mobile mentioned it, like they're playing the better football at the moment, and it's going to be extremely difficult to actually go and play them. So I'd definitely take Chelsea in the final. With this game, I was actually a little bit worried in the first half. I think we had a couple of chances where, you know, we were not taking them, and I think we could have been a little bit more decisive in the final third. There was that one pass where Aubameyang could have taken a shot, but he decided to lay it on for, I think it was Lacazette, who wasn't reacting quick enough, and then Pepe didn't react quick enough as well. You know, but the nice thing that I'm seeing is we actually, against these big teams, we're actually forcing mistakes out of the defenders. You know what I mean? So against Liverpool, we forced a couple of mistakes with what the guys. And again, today we're actually forcing mistakes from the defenders. So Arteta's definitely doing something right with the pressing from the front.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, I don't know, man. Like a lot of the homies, you guys, I won't mention, I don't want to call out anyone, but said we couldn't salvage anything from this season. Yet here we are. Not like we've won it or anything, but I mean, in like you mentioned before, in 1 week we've beaten the champions and the Centurions. And now we're talking about winning the final and actually standing a chance of getting back in Europe. I mean, who would have thought?
Look, for me,
talking about going.
Yeah,
I'm talking about going into Europe. I said it the other time or the other day. I don't want us to go into Europe. I want us to build. Let's not disrupt the process that's currently unfolding. The fact that we pulled these two games together. I mean, no one expected us to be where we are right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially after the Tottenham loss, Tottenham loss, people thought, okay, that's us now. They're done. There's nothing else to watch. And we beat Liverpool and we in the FA Cup final. I mean, fuck. Yeah.
So I actually still want us to be in Europe. I honestly want Arsenal to be in Europe. You know that.
Same.
There is going to be obviously the financial implications, which will obviously boost transfer budget. I think it will just make things a little bit easier for Arteta as well in trying to get the players that he wants. And if we're not in Europe, it might just take a season or 2 seasons more than what it potentially should be taking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I'm keen to actually see Arsenal in Europa, and because we've got some decent youngsters, and in the earlier games they're going to be the ones that he should be playing those guys anyway, So it's not as if it's going to be taking too much away from your Aubameyangs, your Lacazettes, and all those guys. So I'm still keen for Arsenal to be in the Europa, man.
No,
trying
same.
to get a little bit more quality in there and then see how things go.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, to be quite honest, I wasn't too keen in Europe. But I mean, obviously, if we get it, we'll take it. I'm not really too keen just purely because I don't know, like in terms of like our injury record and our squad, I don't know if we'll be able to add personnel to bolster our squad, to have a big enough squad to be able to play almost 2 sides, a European side and a league side.
Domestic side.
Because I think next season we really need to push and make sure that we capitalize on the league next season and try to push for that Champions League position, because I think it is quite open. A lot of the teams that are around us are quite vulnerable. They probably play at their weakest at the moment. Okay, barring Man United, who seem to be on the up at the moment. But if you look at like your Chelsea's, your Tottenhams, your Wolves, even now, who you can consider in there, your Leicesters, they're not really that they're great. And if they're going to be in Europe next season, as you expect them to be this side, you expect them to suffer a bit in the league. So I was hoping that we could capitalize on that. But I mean, I'll take a trophy any day of the week. I mean, a trophy at the end of the season is still a trophy.
Yeah.
And it'll be a nice feather on the cap after such an awful season. To walk away and say, hey guys, look, at least we walked away with something. I think it will really shut up a lot of the haters. But I think still, even in the final, we are still the underdog going into.
You think so?
And I think going into the Liverpool game, like I said, it was one of those games we win. People are gonna say, you beat a Liverpool that was already celebrating.
Yeah, crown champions.
They're gonna say, how do you lose to that Liverpool? You know what I mean? So we beat the Liverpool, and I think people have those opinions. And then we go in and we beat Manchester City. I think a lot of the haters, I don't know what they're gonna say now. You know what I mean? They may have an opinion, but quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. That's all I'm gonna say. They can say whatever the fuck they want to say. I don't give a fuck.
So
we in the final, we beat those 2 guys in 1 week. That's cool.
Is there still a debate about whether Arteta is the man for the job or not, or are we starting to accept that?
I'll take a question.
Yeah, I've never had any issues with it. I think I was a bit skeptical before when Wenger left. I didn't want him to take over immediately. I didn't feel like it was quite ready. I think we needed an intermediate coach who's going to come in just to try and
Carlo Ancelotti. That's what we wanted. Yeah.
You know, I actually didn't even want a college. I was actually okay with the appointment of Emery. You know, and I thought he'd at least come and stay and steady the ship a little bit. But I didn't expect him to stay too long either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when Arteta came in, I was like, okay, now this is the right time. I didn't want an Ancelotti. I didn't want Allegri or anyone like that. Just because we had a young squad and we're moving in a different direction. Those coaches would have probably wanted a much bigger budget, you know. And I just felt it was right for Arteta to come in at that stage where he didn't have too much to lose, and he would be allowed that time to actually try different things, because things could not have gone any worse than they were at that stage anyway. So there wasn't as much pressure on him coming in, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely chuffed that he's got the job right now.
The youngest coach in the league.
You know, and he stopped Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool from reaching their record of 102 points or whatever. And now the very following match game, he stopped the treble from Man City. So both of those teams had stuff to play for, man. So I don't care what other people are saying. Both of those teams had something to play for, and they put their best teams out there. You know?
Exactly.
Can we not stop things from happening and do things? That's what I'm gonna say. Can we win shit? Can we not be the ones that stop people from achieving certain things? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I'm just hoping that, you know, we'll be feeling like we deserve that trophy once we win it in 2 weeks' time. You know, not to look back, because, you know, like I was speaking with Kish, and, you know, I watched the previous episode of Gunacast where, you know, you guys went on complaining about ESCOM, etc., etc. And one thing that I picked up is that a lot of us, even me, I won't lie, you know, did not believe that we deserved or we're going to even win that game. And, you know, it's like, I hope that at the end of that final end, we do win. You know, we feel like we've deserved it, even though, you know, it's been a difficult season. You know, to overcome the challenges of the season makes you feel like you deserve the trophy. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. You know, I feel like why don't we deserve it?
Yeah, I guess. Look, we're the leaders right now. We want it more than everyone else. And I think winning that trophy, at least the one thing it'll do is it'll boost the confidence, and we need that confidence boost. You know, that morale boost to say we've done this and we can, you know, carry on forward and do other better and greater things. So winning it will I think it'll do like a world of wonders for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And it may even attract players to come through to Arsenal. So
for sure.
I'll say, let's go forward and win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if we win it, okay, go for it.
No, sorry, go Sunday.
All right. So if we win it, then we definitely would have deserved it, right? Because I mean, you have to play your games and you have to beat whatever's in front of you. Yeah. And we've beaten City, who wanted the trophy as well. So we definitely would have deserved it.
Yeah.
But the way I'm actually looking at it is still the same shitty defenders that we did not want at Arsenal from the beginning for the longest time, you know.
Yeah.
So we're in the final. I want us to win it, but I'm not going there suddenly thinking that we've got MLD in our defense. You know? It's still shaky. If we win it, great. You know, but I'm not expecting us to. You know, so that's why maybe the underdog title is also working in our favor.
Yeah.
We're going to games with not as much pressure, maybe, and you know the guys are probably more receiving of instructions from Arteta, because they know that they're the underdogs. They've got nothing to lose, so they just need to go out there and play their best game, and you know, and they're doing exactly that, and things are working out. But I'm definitely not expecting us to go there and win it. I think we've definitely got defenders who are very error prone, and I'm expecting it at any time that any of the back three that we play is going to make a mistake and it's going to cost us a goal, and maybe that's the goal that's going to cost us the FA Cup. But I'm definitely, if we win it, then we definitely deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look,
I mean,
I'll say going into the final, I think you would expect that anyone can make mistakes. It's about how we recover from those mistakes that is very crucial.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, whenever you win a final, I think most times, I mean, like 9 out of 10 times, 9.5 out of 10 times, you deserve it, right? It's only on the rare occasion where maybe like the ref made an absolute cock up of a decision, which turned the tide in a particular team's favor. You know, but generally 10 out of 10 times, you've earned your stripes when you go into a final and win that final. So I mean, in that sense, if we do go out and win it, we would have deserved it. Particularly how we have played in this tournament, because we've actually played quite well in the FA Cup, guys. If we be quite honest. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Uzandile, and I've also said that. I mean, we are underdogs. Again, wherever we play between the two sides, we are going to be expected to probably lose against them. But I think then again that at least then, as Andile says, it takes the pressure off of us. It also allows our strikers maybe to say, okay, you know what, let me just work hard, let's graft. We're not going to have a lot of the ball, and let's play on the break. So I think they're more receptive to that, and they're willing to work harder and start chasing lost causes in that manner, because they actually expect to not really receive a lot of chances. So therefore they need to, you know, they need to scrap for everything, knowing that any chance that's created might be the last in a long time, or in a long period of the game. So yeah, I think I'm looking forward obviously to the challenge and how the guys rise up to it, and how Arteta prepares for whichever opponent we do play. I think he's got a point to prove, particularly against Chelsea, because I think he will feel aggrieved in probably those two matches that we played against them, that we didn't walk away with the victory in either of those games, because I think we were actually quite good. But that was probably some of the best football we've played and lost this season. I mean, in the Arteta era, especially that first game that we lost, the 2-1 game, and also I mean we were unlucky in the 2-2 in terms of that we got that silly red card after Mustafi pretty much put David Luiz in a bind, and then David Luiz decided to kick the play and could see the penalty and get the red card. So yeah, I think he would really be up for either side. I think, but yeah, particularly Chelsea, and I'd relish actually playing Chelsea a lot. But obviously, I'll cherish also shutting up Man United fans.
I mean, that's a lot of people's dream final. You know, a lot of Arsenal fans online want to see that final. They don't want to play Chelsea because it'll be easier. It's just that it'll be more satisfactory, perhaps, to defeat Manchester United. You know, because of the history.
We got 4 points against Manchester this season, right? It would be lovely to watch a final of rookie coaches. That would be beautiful to watch, because none of them have ever coached any club to a final. You know what I mean? So that would also be lovely to watch.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We're talking about the final, but I think honestly the biggest test now for Arsenal as a squad and Arteta is the next 2 Premier League games. You've just come out from playing 2 of the top teams in Europe and gotten wins in both those games. Now you've got teams that are, you know, struggling for relegation. Or
playing for their lives.
Relegated already. No, it's just Norwich has been, or is Villa relegated as well?
No, it's Villa and Watford, so both of them are fighting relegation.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the other games that you kind of expect to win, you know. But the concentration levels still need to be as high as they have been for the past 2 games.
Yeah, because the stakes are high as well.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's going to be the challenge now.
So tell me, the game before the final, do we go with a sort of, I don't want to call it a weak side, but we pick the kind of players that we don't want to play in the final, the non-essential, as I once said.
Rest key players.
Do we go with those? Yeah, non-key players, actually. Do we go with those players going into the last game of the season to try and you know, make sure that when we hit the final, we have fresh legs, or do we go all guns blazing? I think that's my question.
I think that it'll depend. It will depend for me. If you've still got a chance of getting into Europe through the league, then by all means, you know, let's go with a strong-ish team. Perhaps we can rest somebody like you and Aubameyang and maybe a Lacazette as well. Because I mean, you've still got Saka, you've got Nketiah who can actually come on. But you can play Pepe, just because I don't think his performances have been. He's not an essential right now for me. He has good moments, but in terms of his consistency throughout 90 minutes, it's not quite there yet. Rob Holding, Mustafi, maybe Rest and Luiz, you know, you can play around with it. but without sacrificing so much that, you know, we are pretty much not giving ourselves a chance to actually get to Europe through the league, basically.
Yeah, no. All, I feel like every match is critical. You know, every match is critical. And I've been saying that since we came back from COVID, you know, that, I mean, in the words of Arsene Wenger, if it's mathematically possible, you know, why not go for it?
So yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for the coach. And knowing Arteta, he's probably going to go hell for leather in both those games because I think he'll just want to keep the momentum going, keep the feel-good factor going in the players. And I think he'll know that he's got a week to kind of rest the players and prepare them. And both sides that we're going to be playing are going to be fielding their strongest sides for both games because they're pushing for Champions League, right? So I think he'll go in there and just try to tweak maybe a few things, make sure that all the players are sharp to head into the match. He will obviously, his biggest fear for me will be maybe a few key players dropping out in those two games through injury and obviously missing the final. But at the end of the day, you can't go into games fearing that, if you know what I'm saying. He will probably say play. He will still probably go out and play his strongest sides, I reckon, for those two games. Purely also because he's got that week break, and he'll use it as good preparation to make sure that the guys are still sharp and fired up, and ready to go. But yeah, maybe the only change maybe you might make, I reckon, maybe you might see like a Socrates maybe starting one of those games. But I think it'll be all in all, I think it'll be essentially the same squad that's been playing.
And I mean,
the same 14, 15 players that have been playing during this period that it'll be using.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, there's I personally don't see why we shouldn't be fielding our strongest team either. You know, well, maybe not necessarily strongest team, but instilling a strong mentality nevertheless, because I mean, we're going into a final, you know, and it'll be great to generate some momentum, you know, and go in there knowing that, oh, look, guys, we're coming off of, you know, great wins, not, you know, and we are winners, and we can win this too, you know. So I think it'll do our psyche very well, very good to win these two matches, even because these are teams that are fighting for their lives. So overcoming that would definitely give us momentum. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Yeah. I don't know. Anybody want to say closing remarks?
The student beat the master. That is my closing remark.
I saw a tweet. It's like, turns out Pep was the one who was being trained by Arteta.
But yeah, so for me, I think I'm liking what I'm seeing. Obviously, there's a few, like in terms of just the solidity, the hard work that's going in, the effort that's going in from the players, right? Even though obviously the technical ability is not there, the execution of some of the things, like some of the passes, some of the decision making is still dodgy. But you know, at least now it seems like we're building that foundation. Getting the base, making sure we're getting the basics right, getting our defending right, getting our energy levels right, getting our desire levels right, and then from there, hopefully, we can then start sprinkling that quality and bringing in those quality recruits to help strengthen us, and then also maybe Arteta will also then obviously get more time to work on his style of play and getting the players to start linking up with each other better, because obviously that's still a bit off where you see the guys still, you know, gesturing to each other that you should have made this run, you should have done this, you should have passed the ball there, you know. And obviously I would like to see stuff like that happening less and less frequently as the players become used to playing with each other and used to the system. And used to the system. But yeah, I think the signs are promising. Now we just need to go and back the manager and just make sure that we tie up our key players. So make sure that we keep Aubameyang and Lacazette on for, to make sure that they can carry on mentoring the youngsters and that the youngsters can feed off of them and help propel us hopefully to to a Champions League position next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think from my side, one thing that I can say, I think playing without the fans, I think Sun Mobile's point there, there's been an advantage to that for Arsenal. Because those instructions, that they can actually they can communicate and actually hear each other from maybe long distances, which is a luxury they wouldn't necessarily have if we still had fans in the ground, So anything, all the instructions, they can still talk to each other, listen to each other, and hear each other, call each other out,
Like on the training field.
Exactly like they would on the training field. So I think that's probably helped us perform or gel a bit more as a team or get a better understanding of how each player plays. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Honestly, I just want us to win the remaining 3 games this season and get back to, I think the momentum, I don't think preseason is going to be very long anyway. So that whatever momentum that we're getting now is still going to be there at the beginning of the season. Then you bring in the new recruits, make the side a little bit stronger, and yeah, it bodes well for the future. And if we can next season, if we can produce results like this against the tradition, the expected top 4, then we will be right up there.
We'll be in contention.
We'll definitely be in contention. And yeah, that's gonna be cool. I just hope that Arteta gets back in the market, man, and gets the players that he needs.
Yeah. They must give him the budget. Show him their money.
He's here for the money.
Yeah.
I think the money might be a bit of a problem, but yeah, we'll see.
Yo, fellas, it's been great.
I think for me.
Okay. You still want?
Go for it.
No, I was going to close off, so you can go ahead.
No, I think it's about talking about the money. It's about smart buying. You know what I mean? Let's just make sure that we buy in the right areas. If we do that, we'll be good.
Yeah.
No, and
so that's my closing remark.
With that being said, fellas, thank you so much. See you on the next match day. Peace.
Peace out.
Voilà.